West Ham entertain. I was going to say West Ham entertain Nottingham Forest. We ain't entertaining anybody this season, let's be perfectly honest. West Ham host Nottingham Forest today. Crunch game, massive game. I've said those words lots and lots of times before, but this one feels different. I've not been as nervous about a game for a long, long time. I'm not going to start racking my brain trying to think when that game might have been. I was so nervous, but a long time ago, and different to the sort of semi-final Europa League nerves. Excited nerves, aren't they? You know, good butterflies, if you like. This, I'm just crapping myself, quite frankly. Things could turn very, very bad very quickly, and it's very interesting to see the positions that people are taking. I think collectively everybody knows that these are desperate times. I feel that in the last few days, David Sullivan, for instance, has just realised now, crap, look at this, what's going on? I think possibly he's even fearing that he might have a Burnley situation. I don't mean the club Burnley, I mean when we played Burnley and there were the protests against the board. I think he might be looking at it thinking, oh, well, okay, I'm about to become very, very unpopular. I've got no sympathy for him on that, actually, because if that's the case, he's shown such little foresight, and we've all discussed this. He's acting now like, oh, poor me, what can I do? What can I do? There's nobody here to hire. And without repeating myself, I've done a week. He should have been doing this in November. You can't go rushing around 5 minutes before the shops close on Christmas Eve, and that's what's happened now. He's shown no foresight at all. So I think he knows he's in peril, not just the club. I think his position is going to come under scrutiny as well. David Moyes, hard to say. I mean, doesn't say a lot. Don't say a lot in his. The irony, doesn't say much in his press conferences. It clams up, doesn't he? Won't say a bloody word. Get him on a podcast, can't shut him up. So so we didn't get too much from him. I think the one thing I would differentiate between the two, I think Sullivan does care. I've heard this. Sullivan doesn't care. He's selling the club anyway. I don't buy into it. There's no way. It's not like Krasinski has to buy the shares of him. That's not it. It's just if he wants to buy the shares, he's got a set price to buy them. And it's, so I can't see there's any benefit at all to Sullivan getting the club relegated. Far from it. He's not got a guaranteed price. Someone can come in and buy it. Krasinski will probably say, I'm not buying them at that price. Not a Premier League club. So whatever happens, Sullivan gets less money if we get relegated. So I don't believe that. So I think he cares, which I think is why he's reacting the way that he has been. I hope David Moyes cares. I hope he's certainly... I was going to say he's not carrying a demeanour that he does, but he's not like that anyway, is he? He's not a bubbly character. So I'm sure he does. I really hope he does, and I hope he's going to come out with something different. If he doesn't come out with something different, it's just the hope, isn't it, that the same old tactics will work? It's not just a hope of that. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is his chance. Maybe this is where we see his vision, because all the players are fit and available, or up to the point of recording this video, all the players are fit and available. That's for sure. I mentioned yesterday about him, playing with an attacking team. I think Paqueta coming back is really key. If Paqueta comes back and he's been training, he has to play him. You can't leave your £50 million man out of the team. The guy that unlocks the door, the one that's got the key, that's him. Skamaka's a slightly different one. But whatever happens, Ings is going to have to be involved in this one as well. Like I said with Gio in the preview, you've got to play Zuma. You've actually got to play him. He's injured. Zuma's broken. We bought a broken player. That's clear. If you're a regular watcher of Channel, we went through his injury record. There's no way you could have signed that player and not know this was going to happen. And we made the comparison in the preview to Ledley King and Paul McGrath and people like that. And Zuma's a really, really good defender. And I think as long as you can get him on the pitch, then he'll perform well. And I think David Moyes will want to see the partnership that he probably had in his mind's eye. He probably thought when he bought Agurd, this is it, this is my partnership. Agurd and Kurt Zouma. I do think if Zuma's back, it's Ogbonna that gets dropped. And I know that might not be universally popular with everybody. And to be fair, Ogbonna's done a lot better than I thought since he came back. What I would say is in the last two games, Kehrer has not been as bad as I thought he would be. I look at sometimes Forest. I've not seen much of them, won't lie about that. But a couple of occasions I've seen him. I've seen him on the counter, and there's a partnership, a real budding partnership between Morgan Gibbs-White and Brennan Johnson. And I mean, he can really get behind and use his pace. I think that's the frailty we've seen. Well, actually, we've seen. Forget the Harry Kane goal, where I just thought he was he was panicked. I thought Ogbonna was panicked in that instance. But the only areas of weakness we've seen, aside from that, have been for pace. So I think it might well be. I was going to say, it's not that Kurt Zuma's blisteringly quick, but he is. Even when limping, he's probably slightly quicker than Angelo Ogbonna as well. So yeah, David Moyes will be looking to do that. I think the Souček option is an interesting one. I don't think Flynn Downs was fantastic in the last game against Tottenham. And I think Souček was one of West Ham's better players. So maybe, just maybe, Moyes will be tempted to put him in there. So I would not be at all surprised to see a central midfield of Souček, Rice and Paqueta. I think that's probably what we'll see. Maybe wrong. I mentioned it before, how we start this game is going to be crucial. Because, one thing Sullivan probably has got right, if he's concerned about things turning against him, it is not... Everybody's fed up. Everyone's fed up at the way this season has gone. And in many respects, the sort of £200 million spend doesn't make it better. It makes it worse. Because we look at that and we think, well, hold on, you've spent all this money and the manager clearly hasn't been able to knit a team together. If you don't deal with it, it's sort of wasted money. I do think it's an interesting dynamic for Moyes. Thanks for all your comments all this week. By the way, so many comments, loads of them. I just, absolutely blown away by them all, really. And when I asked a question at the start of the week, what would you do even if David Moyes stayed up, kept us up this season and won in Europe? And a lot of you said you'd still sort of want him gone. I do wonder if he knows. I've almost checked myself halfway through my own thought process, and I was going to say, wonder if David Moyes knows that even if he does what he needs to do this season, he's still gone. Maybe he doesn't. I think I speak for myself here. It's beyond belief that we have a manager in place who's had a worse record than Pellegrini when he got sacked, and a worse record than Avram Grant when he got sacked. I find it hard to believe that Moyes is still in his position. So maybe, just maybe, Moyes, you just don't know. Maybe Moyes has been told you've got until the rest of the season. Maybe Moyes has been, if that's possible, then it's certainly not beyond the realms of possibility that David Moyes has said, keep us up and you've got next season as well. So, I don't know. I always sort of try and judge things for how I see them and how I would act. So maybe he doesn't feel under pressure. Maybe, and that would probably be a good thing for him, because you sort of don't want David Moyes in a situation where he's thinking, what's the point? What's the point in getting the win? What's the point in keeping this club up? I hope to see a little bit of adventure from him. And even if he can't instill massive amounts of adventure in the team, I hope maybe the team can conjure something, that those players, and the fact we might have a couple more attacking players, they score a goal. And then that gives the team a lift, which in turn gives the crowd a lift. And then maybe, just maybe, we get an emphatic win. And when I say an emphatic win, I don't mean 4-0. I think we all understand that's not going to happen. But a sort of win that, is comfortable enough, where we haven't got squeaky bum for the last 10 minutes in the game, which gets us out of the relegation zone, which, makes Nottingham Forest nervous ahead of the Everton game. There's a lot to be gained from this. There really is. That we've had the European draw now. That's been fortunate. We've had a fortunate draw there. It means you would sort of hope that you can concentrate more on the Premier League and possibly still get through in that and play a weakened team. So that's gone in our favour. But a lot of things have gone in our favour and we just haven't capitalised. Tottenham were weak. We didn't capitalise. Newcastle were weak. We didn't capitalise. Chelsea were weak. We didn't capitalise. Other clubs did against those teams. And so I'm not sure we always grasp opportunity and good fortune even when it's staring us in the face. Anyway, I'll be live an hour. Gio's going to the game, but I'll be live an hour and 5 minutes before kick-off. So come and join me over on the main channel. We'll do what we normally do. We'll have a little chat. We'll do a very, very cheeky bet. We'll try and we'll do an unrealistic bet. One day they're going to come in, and I'll be, hopefully, if it comes in, I'll be dishing out cash to people over in the live chat. Don't forget, if you want to, if you're going to the game, you see Gio down the boat, going to say hello to him as well. Hopefully, we'll be back in good spirits after the game. If you're not going to the game, join Charlie for the watch along on the main channel. So we'll go, I'll start Charlie comes in, does watch along, and then I will be doing the review. And Irish Tommy has very kindly agreed to join me for that. So let's hope we're both smiling and both absolutely joyous and jubilant after that game, because it's going to be. Honestly, anything else doesn't bear thinking about, and I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to hope for the win. Fingers crossed. Enjoy your morning, and then get ready, because come 3 o'clock we've got a very, very important game coming up.